Good morning, everyone. Rob Bonta, California Attorney General here. Thank you for joining today. We're here today to announce a lawsuit challenging numerous federal agencies for conducting an illegal mass firing of federal probationary employees. The Trump administration's Office of Personnel Management directive, that's OPM's directive to agencies to terminate probationary employees en masse to reduce the size of the federal workforce exceeds any statutory authority granted by Congress. Alongside many other actions the Trump administration has taken, this sweeping mass firing is simply put illegal. This action to quote unquote curb waste and inefficiency, end quote, is exactly the opposite. It's wasteful, it's inefficient. Unfortunately, this is yet another example of my office needing to follow through on our promise. We'll take action if and when Trump violates the law and infringes on our rights. Our lawsuit seeks to immediately halt further firings and reinstate unlawfully terminated federal employees while litigation proceeds. I, alongside 19 attorneys general, allege that the Trump administration's failure to comply with reduction in force procedures was arbitrary and unlawful. This mass firing is in violation of the Federal Administrative Procedures Act because the Trump administration proceeded with the terminations while ignoring critical protections that ensure workers and impacted communities receive advance notice of mass layoffs to soften the disruptions they cause and ensure that personnel such as military veterans are given preference in retaining their jobs. When a reduction in force results in a layoff of 50 or more employees, the agency must generally give at least 60 days advance notice to state governments so the state governments can provide vital rapid response information, resources, and services to affected workers. We've named many federal agencies in our lawsuit, including the Departments of Agriculture, Commerce, Defense, Education, Energy, Health and Human Services, Homeland Security, Housing and Urban Development, Interior, Labor, Transportation, Treasury, and Veterans Affairs. We've also named the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau, Environmental Protection Agency, Federal Deposit Insurance Corporation, General Services Administration, National Archives and Records Administration, Office of Personnel Management, and the Small Business Association, as well as the United States Agency for International Development, for all named for failing to provide any advance notice to California, causing significant expense and burden on our state. As a result of the Trump administration's callous actions, we're seeking the following remedies from the court: declaratory relief, a temporary restraining order to pause further mass firings and reinstate unlawfully terminated federal employees, and preliminary and permanent injunctive relief to enjoin further terminations, to stop and block further terminations that do not follow required legal procedures. The president has once again overstepped his authority by a mile, and we, again, will hold him accountable. Right here in California, federal employees heavily contribute to our economy by paying state income taxes and generating substantial local revenue. This reckless action has already caused a 149% increase in state unemployment benefit claims by federal workers. Undoubtedly, this will impact small businesses and decrease consumer demand. Countless people will no longer have the steady income to buy groceries, fill up their gas tanks, and support their families. It would appear that the president is committed to breaking the law and breaking his promises, including that he'd, quote, immediately bring prices down starting on day one, end quote. We can't forget the real impact of the Trump administration's actions on individuals and families across the nation. I listed a lot of agencies earlier, so as you can imagine, the impact is monumental. It's vast. These mass firings impact people dedicating their careers to serving the public, mission-driven workers, something we should be inspiring more people to do, not less. My office is hearing firsthand from people impacted by this situation. One Californian we talked to loved his job, loved his job working for the Federal Emergency Management Agency, FEMA. When disasters like wildfires strike, he was responsible for ensuring local agencies are able to jump the line to purchase the vital supplies needed. This employee, who was abruptly terminated despite rave performance reviews, is now buying only the bare necessities until he figures out the next step. That's unfathomable, which is why we have laws to help prevent it. Laws that the president, unfortunately, decided to break. Let's let today's lawsuit be a reminder that I stand with our workers, I stand with you, I stand with California and Californians. As Attorney General, I'll continue to use the full force of the law and the full authority of this office to address injustice. That means I'll see the Trump administration in court again. We don't expect the president's barrage of unlawful, chaotic, and disruptive executive orders and actions to slow down, unfortunately, which means neither will our work ahead. Fortunately, I know we'll be able to weather the storm and push back when laws are broken because of the dedication and tenacity of the folks on our teams. Before I open it up for questions, I want to shout out the folks at DOJ who made today's action possible: Claudia Gardia, Sandra Anderson, Christina Bull-Arndt, Miranda Mason, Satoshi Yanai, and Evan Akron. Thank you, and now I will open it up to any questions that you might have.